We're teaching parents. I'm a really great artist. There's a beautiful parent. Okay, and here's us over here. We're beautiful too. It's a green parent. Okay.
Green bandana.
They'd all want black. All right, so we have a parent here. Actually, Sarah, would you be a parent for me? Would you come up and be a parent for me? All right, so pretend you have a really yucky child that you just spent the afternoon with, okay? So, Sarah, how's it going?
I'm tired.
Well, why are you tired?
It's been a long day.
Every day's long. Okay, so she said she's tired, okay? She's at a minus. Then what did I do first? I asked her a question. What does the question require? An answer. I want more energy out of her. She's saying I'm at a minus. I'm just hitting her with another minus. Did I just help? And then I made her question herself. Why are you tired? What's wrong with you? Okay. Then you said it was a long day. Every day is long. Am I showing any compassion, any empathy? Absolutely not. Okay, so let's take that from the top.
You're almost accusing.
Yeah.
Justify your position, please.
Yeah.
We're all tired, lady.
Yeah, get over it.
Move on.
All right, so Sarah, how's it going?
Oh, I've had a rough day.
Oh man, what happened?
Oh, I've really been struggling with my child today.
Oh, you don't deserve it. You know, you're an amazing mom. You give and you love. I'm sorry you're having such a hard struggle.
Thank you. That means a lot to me.
It's all right. So what did I do? Did I take or give?
Give.
Right, I gave understanding. Okay, I gave empathy because I know what it feels like. I felt her heart. And then I gave her some of mine because she needed some. Okay, so.
You affirmed her. Really important.
Yeah, and I accepted her. Pulling somebody to your heart is acceptance. I didn't pat her on the back like she's a child. I hugged her like she's a peer, because she is, right? So, yeah. And did I need to tell her what she should do? Did she ask me for advice? No. Did she want to know how I understood and I should tell her this terrible day I've had? No. Okay? So, parents coming at you with a negative, we want to go back with a positive. Okay, so let's try another, just make up a whole nother thing there. So, hey, how's it going, Sarah?
Do you want this negative?
Yeah. You live with a rad child. What else have you got?
Well, it's a bad day. I walked into Johnny's room and stepped on a pile of pee.
Oh, you know, my son used to do that all the time. Don't you just hate stepping in their pee and they think, ha, ha, pee on you. And you know what else he would do? He would poop in the closet. Man, that smell of poop would just make me sick. And I bought every kind of cleaner. I spent a fortune on the cleaner. Trying to get my whole house smelled like a sewer. And you know what? I'm so sick of him. You know, he calls me stupid. He calls me an idiot. Then he pees on me. I have had it up to here. 15 years. 15 years I've been doing this pee. You got one puddle? Wait till he's a teenager. Let me tell you. Oh, okay, what did I do?
Put it all on you.
I unloaded my garbage onto a maxed out tired mom.
Look at me, I got it worse than you do.
How many parents should you tell your story to? Zero. Zero. How many of you know my son got killed? Okay, yeah, a couple of you we know for 100 years, but I don't go around telling everybody my son got killed. Because like, you have your pain, you don't need my pain. That would be huge negative for you to be now worrying about me and what I've been through. For you to be, whoa, he's 15, my child's gonna do this for 15 years. And then they say, oh no, we got poop coming next. And she's just saying, I just stepped in to pee. And then I load her down with my garbage. And yes, we all have our pain. We've lived with rat children, and we know. I can tell you stories that'll curl your hair 50 different ways. Okay? If it was going to help you, you know, oh man, pee. Oh, do you have something to clean that up that works?
I don't know what works.
Oh, you know what? I tried skunk remover. Not so great. Best thing I found, if you want to know, is that bathroom scrubbing bubbles, foamy stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, come on, let's go to the store. We'll get some. Okay. Okay. So she needs a little support. She needs a little help. It's like, it's just pee. We're just going to clean it up. We're going to move forward. Okay. I don't need to tell her my horror stories. And if you tell a parent or a team member your horror stories, you just took them down. I mean, we're talking down.
Hey, I apologize, everybody, right now.
No, if somebody says, how is your child? Because they know you, they know your child, they care, that's a whole different thing. But if they're saying, man, I had a hard time, you know, oh yeah, well, let me tell you about mine. At camp, no way.
Because that comes across as a competition.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
that you're competing
And feel sorry for me.
with somebody. Yeah.
And it's like, I don't want you to feel sorry for me.
And
Doesn't help anybody. Yep, I had a hard time. You know, a bunch of times I had a hard time. And it made me stronger. It's not feel sorry for me stuff. It made me stronger. I have new hips. I have $250,000 worth of hips here. I mean, to tell you, Marilyn Monroe's hips were not worth as much as mine. So, and they work now. So it's good. Woohoo! All right, so we want to be mindful. Okay, ask me a parenting question like we just did a class, and you're a parent and you have a question.
My child lies about the dumbest thing.
So what do you think you ought to do about it?
I don't know what to do about it.
Well, think about it.
Well, I haven't been able to figure it out.
It'll come to you. Tomorrow is another day.
Yeah, we'll try it again.
I actually had someone at camp, the parent asked a question, and then the parent went on and on and on a little bit, and she said, in class, see, you just answered your own question. Next, how did it make the parent feel?
Dumb.
Dumb.
Really dumb.
Yeah.
How disregarding.
Yeah.
And you know what? Oh man, you guys. Ooh, that's a tough one. I don't know. You know what? I'm going to find out for you because that's important. Maybe we don't have all the answers. We can say that. That's okay. Have you tried slapping them upside the head?
Doesn't work.
Oh. We have to be careful we don't joke around on stuff. I had a parent who was doing not a thing at camp, but another workshop, and they had a police officer come in. And the police officer said something about, you know, you can just duct tape his arms to the chair as long as it's over the shirt, it won't hurt. Some kind of ridiculous thing like that. And this person would come to camp and say, you know what this police officer said, and would say it over and over, probably 5 or 6 different trainings that I had. Then people go home and they say, I was at Nancy Thomas's training and I learned you can duct tape their arms.
No.
When he was saying it was a bad idea, but he was sharing the idea, okay? We don't share bad ideas to say they're bad ideas. These tired, stressed out parents get confused. Thank you so much, Sarah. You're awesome.
Welcome.
You're awesome, awesome. All right, so we don't. And as Christians, okay, most of us are, we fight the dark side. The dark side wants our children. I have a whole group of people that make up all kind of nonsense about me. There's all kind of websites that say I've killed 8 children and all that. They're really hammering me right now about a whole nother child. You know, and people call up and they're like, I was reading about you on the internet. I'm like, yeah, sorry about that. Is it true? No, absolutely not. And they're going to believe it or they're not going to believe it. Am I going to go around saying, no, I don't kill children? I would be in jail if I did a fourth of what they say I have done. Okay? I mean, really, just logic and reasoning right now. Anybody that's heard me speak knows what I talk about. It's about love and attachment. You don't get a child to love and attach to you by starving them, beating them, or whatever they're saying I'm doing out there. They said I don't allow children to pray at one point. How do you stop somebody from praying? And anybody who knows me knows better than that, because I spend a lot of time in prayer. How do you stop somebody from praying? I mean, really? Don't pray. I'll ground you. Anyway, so we get the negatives and we can dwell on it. They said I did what? They said, Nancy Thomas, what? You know, or we can focus on the ball. God's got the ball. He says, here, you have the ball. You run with this ball. And I choose to keep my eyes focused on the ball, on the goal, on what I'm supposed to be doing, which is helping families, not fighting the lies, the nonsense and the whatever stuff. But you will hear, Nancy Thomas, didn't I hear about her on here and there? Like, probably so. You want to know the truth? Here it is. All right, so they'll say stuff about you too. I mean, when you're in the fight, they go after the one who's got the ball. I mean, that's what they do. So I always take it as an honor that Satan sends a couple of minions after me. I must be doing something worth trying to fight. So I'm okay with it, because I know who's going to win that battle, and I'm all right. I'm still here, and I don't hurt children. But anyway, supporting, giving positives. I believe in you. You're going to be okay. I understand. That message, not necessarily with those words, absolutely has to be in everything you say and do. The way you look at a parent. One of the worst things is just, I have a really hard time. There's two that I have a really hard time with. One is real mom. Real mom. What is real mom?
One that raises a child.
Yeah. The one who's there at midnight when they wake up with a nightmare, when they fall off their bike and skin their knee. That's the real mom. Absolutely. And the children get so confused by that we're not the real mom. And then they throw, you're not my real mom. Well, oh yeah, I am. It's not rubber. We'd probably have to say silicone nowadays. They don't know what rubber is.
What do you do when a parent says that? How do you let go?
I just say, actually, there's a birth mom. Each child has a birth mom. And then there's the real mom. The real mom is the one who's there for them and raises them. I just say, I like to call that one their birth mom, because I would call you the real mom. You know, especially with the child, but ooh. So I have a hard time with that. And foster, I don't use the word foster. I had a little guy one time who was in foster care, and I said, what does that mean? He said, it means fake. I'm like, so he's a fake son and I'm a fake mother? Ooh, I don't like it. So I don't. When I introduce my children, this is my son, this is my daughter, this is my son, this is my daughter. It's not, this is my adopted daughter, this is my birth child, this is my, they're my children. You know, I don't, so I have a hard time with that. Another one is bad parenting. Are these parents doing bad parenting? They're doing it wrong, but they're doing it wrong because they're doing it the way they were raised, or the way neighbors are raising their children that other people are doing. Sure, but they need the new toolbox. So I don't say you're doing it wrong. I just say, you know what? Let's get you a new toolbox, so you've got some new tools that work with what your child has. But bad parenting, woo, that's a judgment. I just judged and condemned this parent for messing up their child. How can I have my heart open to filling them with love and support when you're the one who messed up the child? Well, and you should deal with it, you know. And so I'm very careful about what I think about parents. I have parents that I'm concerned about their mental health state. But why is it their mental health state? Probably they started out sane. You know, live with enough pain, fear, stress, and chaos, and your brain goes a little bit coanco. Been there, done that. I crashed with depression. I was a mess. I mean, I like would stand out there and talk to those chickens. Hurry up and lay an egg so my children can have fresh eggs for breakfast. And I'd make the eggs while they were super fresh, and we had all the organic garden, I had a beautiful garden with all this stuff, and fed my children soup. I ground wheat and I made it into bread before the little vitamin E's could dissipate and escape. So my children had super healthy food, And when I had depression, I don't even know what they ate. I didn't care. I couldn't care. I didn't get out of bed for 2 months. I just laid there. My cowboy would come in and wrap his arms around me and he'd say, "It's okay, sweetheart, you just rest." I'm like, good thing, because I can't do anything else. I burned out all my systems. I gave and gave and gave and worked and worked and worked. I put my children to bed and I could get another 4 or 5 or 6 hours in, organizing the meals, writing articles, they're in bed, I got this time, and push, midnight, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, I don't need 8 hours, I can do this. You know what? You need 8 hours. Now I got a machine that measures how many hours I sleep. My doctor yells at me. He yelled at me for yesterday. But anyway, so my heart went out 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and the doctor says, you can't handle stress. Do you know who I am? I am like surrounded with it. It's what I do. He said, nope, you're going to drop dead. You want out of this emergency room? You have to, find some way to not have stress. I'm like, but it's what I do. Not if you're going to live. I was in there 9 days the first time, 11 days the second time. He said, so, stress, what are you going to do about it? I'm like, okay, I will avoid it. He said, 8 hours of sleep, no stress. Wow, that's hard. Okay. You know what? Should have been doing that anyway. Before I almost croaked. I was like, geez, scared the cowboy. Now he has gray hair. But it's beautiful silver. Dealing with the parents, we need to continually look in their eyes. I picked Sarah because she has extremely expressive eyes. She has big, soft eyes. And you can see exactly what you're saying, what you're doing, the impact you're having, because her eyes shine it. Even though we were role playing, I told her I'm going to do it wrong and then I'm going to do it right. Her eyes went, oh, ooh, ha. I could feel it. And then when I was doing it right, even though we were making up nonsense, her eyes got soft and, oh, okay. We need to be in tune. What are we doing to this parent? Are we filling them? Are we putting pluses out here, or are we doing minuses and telling our horrible story? When I'm sharing stories, yeah, there's some yucky stuff, okay? I'm trying to make a point, and I don't, okay, and then she did, and then she did. It's like, this point we're covering, there's a story, and oh, yeah. I also need to be very, very careful with my stories because I have a room full of children. Am I teaching them some new ideas on how to do it wrong that they haven't tried before? Woo! We go over the symptoms of attachment disorder. One of them is false allegations of abuse. Am I going to set out some real good examples of that and go on and on? Man, I skim over that puppy so quick. False allegations of abuse. And then there's triangulation. Then, and if you don't give them what they want, then they do this one, and we just move on. You have to be careful not to give them ideas. Because, they love it. I learned this at camp.
Isn't there a certain portion of your training, though, that you have the kids out of there? So that they're
Absolutely. The last 2 days, it's just parents. And we cover, what do you do about lying? What do you do about stealing? But they want those answers day one. And I have to say, you know what? That is a really great question. And the last 2 days, we're going to train where there aren't children in here so that you're getting the tools and they're not. And I've had parents, I got your Mastering Steps DVDs and I've been having my daughter watch them. Great. I got some cattle herding videos. I got my border collie watching those. She's going to be really good at it. I'm like, what? You're teaching your child how to be a parent or what? I got out of my car to visit a family and the little boy ran across the street without looking to come up to me. I've been watching you on the videos. You're famous. I'm like, oh, great. famous. No, because I'm on his TV. I'm a movie star, right?
Right.
Yes, Val.
How do you deal, going back to what you were talking about as far as pulling it up and not telling your stories and, because I think a lot of times, especially in smaller camp settings, kind of, if you're working with the parents, you start to establish relationships. And so they want to kind of know your story, and then I'm not going to tell you my story. But how do you, when they ask you specifics, how do you just like,
I keep it short. They say, do you have a child with Rad? Absolutely. I have a daughter, so I understand your heart. I understand how exhausted you are. Not, I have a daughter and she did this and she did that. Because it's like, Sherry, my son stole stuff and he went to jail. It was so embarrassing. I was humiliated. My son stole stuff and he went to jail. I was so embarrassed. I didn't want anybody to know. I know. My son stole stuff and the neighbors all were embarrassed. They all knew that my son was a thief, and then he went to jail. It was like, the judge announced it. Oh, it was just, my son stole stuff. And it was so embarrassing. The neighbors all know my son's a thief. The courts, it was like, and he's in jail. So I just relived the stealing and the court case 4 times. What'd that do to my heart? Help me love my son? Help me to be a better mom? Or help me to be farther away from him? 4 times he stole from me. 4 times he went to court. 4 times. What if I keep going, telling the same nightmare story? Am I going to be able to heal from what he has done and be a great mom? No. Do we need to vent? Yes. So we go to one dear friend and say, oh, Sherry, God, I'm so wiped out. He stole. Now the judges can, he's going to be in there for a couple of years. I'm so embarrassed. The neighbors all, he stole from my good neighbors. Oh, it was really awful. Okay, I need to vent. I'm a female. I don't know if males need to vent as bad as we do, but we vent. And then, you're like, oh man, I'm so sorry. Yeah, and we move on. And then Michelle says, I hear your son's in jail. I know. He's really having a hard time. Yeah. I'm not going to like, oh, Teresa, you're my friend, but I'm never going to tell you about my son. I don't relive the whole thing about the embarrassment of humility. Yep, he's struggling. He's in jail and so-and-so. I mean, if you ask. But I'm not going to keep rehashing. It just keeps that wound open. And the parents come and they want somebody to understand their pain. And yeah, I understand. I lived it. I get it. I know. But am I saying that so that they think I'm great because I get it? I know. No. It's like, oh man, I'm sorry. Sorry you're having to live with that. I'm sorry you're having to deal with that. All right.
so I'm a parent?
You're a parent.
Okay.
A little closer?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, come on over here.
So do you have children with Rad?
Oh, yeah, that's why I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
So
So
how's
how's your daughter, how's she doing? How are your kids doing?
Oh, look at you worrying about my heart when your heart's breaking. Oh, sweetheart. I'm so
That's
glad
really
she's
good.
got you. I'm so glad she's got you. You're her best chance.
So
mean,
did your
absolutely.
are your kids, are their hearts healed?
And you're still worried about mine. That's how come you're here, because you care so much.
Okay, that's good. All right.
It's all right. I just don't tell them.
And sometimes people do that because they're trying to avoid
Uh-huh.
what they're dealing with. And it's like, I can deal with yours
Right.
better than I can deal with
And they really can't deal with ours.
No, not at all. But
No.
it takes their energy
Mm-hmm.
away from having to be there.
And when we're supporting a parent, yep, we're listening and we're hearing. Some of the children say, how are things going? Everything's fine.
Fine.
Is everything fine? No. Like, well, sweetheart, you look a little bit stressed. Come here, let me feel your heart. Yeah, you feel a little bit stressed. What's really going on? Oh, I'm sorry that's going on. The parents are the same. It's like, I'm fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine, especially the dads. We got this. Really? Why are you at camp? And that's why we don't have team members doing parent support other than, you know what? I saw you eating with your daughter at lunch today, and your eyes were just so soft. You just did such a great job, and then we're out. Okay, we step in. I saw you. You hold up that mirror. I saw you. You did this right. It was beautiful. And we step out. Because who are they not looking at when they're looking at me? Their child. Is that what we want? So we just open it. Opening is a plus. Okay, just standing there listening is a plus. But letting them vent and hash and rehash whatever their husband has messed up, or the same story over and over and over. Every team member's, and she's got herself maxed out, cortisol pumping through there. It's like, I'm so glad you're here at camp. I'm going to write your questions down. I'm going to give it to the parent instructor. They will cover it in the morning. Right now, I want you to relax. Okay? I'm showing love, concern. I hear you. I want you to relax. I'm not going to do that body language, which is pushing away. Okay? I want you to relax.
Beth would say or do when you have the parent that spends most of their time like conversing with another parent, not their spouse, but another parent.
Well, that's a problem. And it's a problem because they're doing it to avoid their child. And that's one of the reasons I felt like Shelley's idea of the cards at the table to start conversations as a job. Okay, here's your task at lunch to pick 2 or 3 of those cards and talk to your child. So we're telling them what we want them to do. But sometimes we need, like, if you're over here having a conversation with Ann and she's not your daughter, she's your neighbor, say, Ann, could I talk to you for just a little minute? You know, Ann, come up. You know, I just really appreciate how much you're focusing on your daughter. And that is setting such a great example for the other parents and how you're showing her how to eat nicely. And I just wanted to thank you for that. Okay, so I'm going to tell her, I want you to focus more on your daughter in a loving way. And, you know, I would only say that if she really was. If she's totally ignoring her daughter, talking to you, but I'm going to help her to get so that you can get, how's it coming with the table talk questions? Are you having any luck with that, Diane? Oh, have you tried? The third one in was really a good one. Give that a go. So I might just come and redirect kind of a thing. We want the parents to get to know each other toward the end of the week. The first couple days, they have to focus on flight checking the heck out of everything and the eagle feathers. And when they start visiting and connecting and, oh, you wanted to go to Egypt. I always wanted to go to Egypt. And there's their child with the food falling. And it's like, whoa. You know, and then the team's like, did you see what? I always wanted to get one. They have these little buzzers. Maybe they don't anymore. They probably use your cell phone. But you would go to Red Lobster, and when your table was ready, it would buzz and startle you. And then they started using it in the churches where your baby's crying in the room. And then you'd come get your baby. We need those. Oh, flight check. So if we have a couple single parents whose children are in flight check, we can, hey, would you like to come and sit with so-and-so over here? That's great. Otherwise, how about if a team member goes and sits with that mom? You know, it's like, oh, you know what? There isn't anybody else that's, you know, available right now, but I've got a team member that would love, and that team member can come and sit with you and say how wonderful the food is and what a sunshine is. Positives. I'm so glad you came to camp. You know, where's your favorite place to go in the world? One of the things that Paul was having us do is dream. Where would you like to go? It's like, yeah, how about if we look at a future where we're going someplace cool to travel or have an adventure? So helping them to get out of the, oh, that is so awful and I'm trying to get it, to just visiting about stuff that doesn't have anything to do with them spending the whole lunch venting. And one thing that Paul started that I really like was at lunchtime, you weren't the flight check chief, you were doing the parent encounters, but we're going to have the flight check chief do it usually, come out at lunchtime, because a lot of times they're in there the whole week. Nobody even knows. There's this great person in there, except the children come out and go, whoa, Mr. Rowland, wow. You know, so if the flight check chief can come out at lunchtime and just go around and say, hey, you know what, your child's still stuck, but he is going to get through it, you know. Oh, I really enjoyed working with your daughter this morning, you know, she's got some stuff going on there. And, oh, you know what, your son, I think there's some greatness in him. Once he gets past this stuck point, he's going to be one to watch. You know what? Your daughter, I think her dance could be the key to her happiness. You know, whatever. Just a quick little touch base. I know who your child is. I've been with them. They can do this, or they aren't doing it yet. You know, he's still stuck, but he's going to get there. I believe in him. Kind of a deal. Just a quick, because they're like, what's happening with my child? We had a parent ask, I don't know what's going on in there. What are they picturing?
Torture.
Right, and how is their child in there? What are they feeling? Yeah, scared, sad, and they're, oh, mommy, help me, mommy, help me. And that cry to a mother is what? Gut-wrenching pain. Our child's crying for us and we're not coming. So the word cry. Let's take a look at the word cry. Okay, when I say cry, what do you picture?
Crying.
Tears.
Tears of
Distress.
sadness. Yeah, okay. What if I say it's a rad child who's crying? What do you picture? Manipulation. Boo-hoo! Oh, right?
Someone walks in and there's dead silence because they want to make sure they hear it.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
There's usually no tears.
right. So if we use the term cry, when the child, how is my child? He's crying. We just sank the ship. Oh my gosh, I have to rescue him. I'm his mother. He needs me. Okay? Because he's in there going, when I have a child who's doing a pity party at my table, and somebody's like, is he all right? I say, you know what? I think he's feeling really sad about what he did to his mother. I think the rudeness he just put out at the lunch table has really made him upset. And the kid's like, never even thought of that. All right, so we don't use the word cry. If the child's sad in there sobbing their face off for their mother, then maybe they have an attachment and they should be with their mother. Okay, and we're working with the wrong child because that's not what's going on in there. We don't use the word cry. It scares parents, it stresses them. They will want to rescue sweetums. And a lot of them want to rescue sweetums anyway because they don't know what we're doing to them. When we have a child in the flight check room, we want to watch our terminology. He's stuck. Okay, does that mean he's bad? No, he just hasn't started moving forward yet. He's stuck. But I know he's going to get there. Okay, he's still stuck. He's going for the record. It's okay. So I'm going to show I'm not stressed. He's stuck. It's okay. We've had children stuck before. All right? Yes?
Have you ever had a family leave camp because they don't know what's going on in the intervention room, or they don't have peace, or they feel scared, or?
We've had probably 6 different families that have seriously considered leaving camp. 4 of them missed orientation. So they get there, people are calling flight check, they have no idea what's going on and why, and they call flight check because we take the child, they don't know where we've taken them or what the plan is or what, and then they're like, I don't know about that, it freaks them out. So if people miss orientation, I don't even think they should come to camp. I mean, it is so important that they're in there and understand what our goal is. I take them in the flight check room. This is where your child will be. We've got mini tramps. We don't have any chains and racks, but we beat them with noodles in here. Okay, they might tell you we are. You're welcome to come watch so you can see we're not. But we've got mini tramps. We've got little mats where they sit and calm down and think. They have to tell us what happened. They have to come up with a plan for an act of kindness. So sometimes, you know, the flight check chief who's been working with the child, not somebody goes around the room, they have no idea. We've had team members, new team members, who see the child in the flight check room and then go give a report to the parents. They don't even know what's going on with the child. I'm like, what are you? But the parents are like, what's happening with him? You know what? Let me check on, let me get the flight check chief or whoever's working with the child to come and talk to you about that. But if we're not the one working with the child, so for the flight check chief to be able to go out and do that and just, you know what, he's still stuck, it gives you more time off, and you've really given a lot, so you need that break. It's all right. Well, and we tell them in orientation that all the children get all their meals, you know, so, but parents worry. They just worry. Well, a lot of times we tell them so much in orientation, they just traveled and they're like, I don't know what you said. Some parents worry about food. Most of them don't, because they have a picky eater at home, so they worry about food at home. Then they come to camp and they keep doing it. We just had a child at camp, and the mom's, oh, he has sensory issues. He can only eat, what was it, chicken nuggets,
burgers, hot dogs,
yeah,
chicken nuggets.
it was all crap, you know. And I said, well, we don't have any of those at camp, but we will do the best we can. He did not have sensory issues. He was manipulating the heck out of her.
He ate everything. He ate everything.
Yeah, but she was trying to be mindful and respectful of her son with special needs, and he was working it, you know. So we have healthy food. We put it in front of the child. They eat or they don't. I don't make a child eat. You can't make a child eat. I'm not going to even push it at them. I just give them a plate of food. And they're like, well, is he eating? Well, that's up to him. He might. We gave it to him. Well, what if he doesn't eat? Well, then he'll be hungrier at the next meal and he'll have more of an appetite. So I try to just, it's okay. I try to set that it's okay. We don't stress and worry and push and pull and all those kinds of things to see if that's helpful. But, you know, I understand you love him and you want him to grow, but do you really want him bigger? Maybe you want him smaller. Have you thought? You know, I kind of get him laughing a little bit about how silly it is. If we feed him, he's going to be even huger and he's aggressive. Let's go for, that's great. You didn't eat those green beans, you know, broccoli. Parents all worry about different things. A lot of them worry they're going to come to camp and learn stuff from other kids, bad words and whatever. And boy, if they can pick up a bad word, they will. Much better than their spelling words, which they can't remember ever. But most of them are worried there's no hope. That their child's going to come and con us, and we're going to say it's you. I mean, because the kids are good con artists, and they've conned teachers and ministers and people out in the community, so they're scared child's going to con us or be perfect all week. So we have free time 2 to 3 hours a day where they're alone with their parents. They go for a walk or, you know, whatever activities we've got out there that the parents pick, so that they can get real, because they're alone with their parents during that time, and it's not the team's right there, so they got to do their, I'm perfect, I never do anything wrong, it's my mother that has issues. You know how they do when we're there. So we have it set up. We haven't had one make it through the whole thing with total perfection. Well, Ann was pretty close, and then maybe.
But she had just come from residential, so she was, you know.
Had some skills. Had some skills. Yeah, she's very strong. Well, and she had to be. From an orphanage in Kazakhstan, she had to be strong. That's what kept her alive. And I'm going to have Ann share her story another time, but just our children are survivors, or they'd be dead. They've been through way more than any child should ever be through. But you know what? My Beth, she went through all that stuff, and it made her stronger. It made her more beautiful on the inside. It's like gold. You know, they refine gold, the hotter the fire, the purer the gold. But when you're mining for gold, like we're mining for the gold in our children, you move a whole lot of dirt. Mountains of dirt to find the gold. And it's muddy and it's, you know, digging for gold, but that's what we're doing as parents. Where's the gold in this child? And sometimes they got to go through some real hard times, jail and whatever stuff. And we still believe that gold. I saw it shine. It's in there. We still believe in them. And then they can get there because somebody has to believe in them.